everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Rose, and this is day 14 of my carnivore challenge. This week has been rough. It started out kind of on the wrong foot, and I 100% did it to myself. I ended up making some burgers that I didn't like the texture of, my husband didn't like the flavor of, so I brought them to my mother's house because she does keto, and we ended up going out to a steakhouse, and instead of eating like I should have and had a steak, I had breaded and fried mushrooms and mozzarella sticks. Came home thinking that I had 100% kicked myself out of ketosis. Was surprised to find out that I had not. That was a big surprise for me. And that kind of just started just a snowball of just sugar cravings and just a really hard week for me. And then 4th of July happened, and we ended up going to visit my husband's grandmother and her human. They've been friends for, all of my husband's life. She ended up having some medical stuff going on, so we went to go visit her while she was healing, and we went back to the grandma's house, and she made some brats and some hot dogs and like mac and cheese, and she bought donuts. And we told her beforehand that, my temporary crown had fallen out, so I wasn't really going to eat anything. We didn't want donuts, all these things. And, grandmas, they have a license not to listen, and that's part of their charm. And I feel bad that I was not really able to eat a whole lot of her food because, a lot of it, half of it was carbs. And I'm trying not to do carbs. And so I had a couple of hot dogs, and I had brought a protein shake because I got my crown fixed tomorrow, and I'm a little afraid to eat right now because I fixed it with just denture adhesive, so it's not necessarily secure, and I don't want to swallow this, this temporary crown. So I feel really bad that all of this kind of happened over the 4th. We went to visit her because, food is very much a love language for her, and I always try to be mindful of that when I go over and eat enough that she doesn't feel bad about it, And I didn't even meet that mark this time. So I am proud of myself for not digging into the donuts because, oh my God, my mouth is watering just sitting here talking about it. They looked fantastic. The mac and cheese, I know her mac and cheese is good. But I stuck to my hot dogs. I stuck to my protein shake. I was drinking my electrolytes because I drink a massive ton of those. Sometimes I do the LMNT element powder. Sometimes I do the Propel or the Gatorade powder. Just depends on how much salt that I need that day, depending on my pots. But I also drink 2 gallons or more of water a day, so I am constantly just taking in electrolytes just to make sure that I'm not gonna have some problems. Sorry, kitty. And then a couple days later, I was having a really bad night. My RLS meds weren't working. My pain meds weren't working. And my legs Like my back was just uncomfortable. My legs were just crawling. Like I can't even with that sensation. I literally got up out of bed here and I went downstairs, and of course downstairs is where the kitchen is, and I must have walked around that floor for a good hour. And I eventually sat down and I'm so sorry if you hear my cats running around. All three of them are in this room, like just playing tag. Anyways, so I made the mistake, and I 100% own that I just said, screw this, and I grabbed my jar of peanut butter, and I ate until I didn't feel like it anymore, which was probably like Bailey, my girl, what are we doing? So I ate, I'm guessing like 8, maybe 10 servings of peanut butter. Couldn't tell you. Checked the next day, I was 100% kicked myself out of ketosis. Which is super frustrating because, like, the first week was so good. And so after that, I brought out my graph paper and I started tracking my fat, my protein, and my carbs. My goal is 150 grams of protein for like 80 grams of carbs, give or take, and about 80 grams of carbs. No. Fat. 80 grams of fat. So 80 grams of fat, 15 grams of carbs. My goodness. My brain wants those carbs, I'm telling you. Whew. And for like 3 days, I tracked that until I got back into the swing of things. I've done pretty good. It's a little hard to stay under 15 grams of carbs, just because I am such a carb addict and I love the processed meats, and we're kind of working our way off of those for the most part. So I hid my jar of peanut butter. So that is just not even an option for any cravings at this point. I'm just going to have to suffer. Because clearly I can't be trusted. So we're going to do that. I did see my spine doc today to go over MRI results from a couple of weeks ago. And my spine looks mild to moderate in terms of the degeneration, which just means that I am not going to have any surgery anytime soon, which is fantastic news. I was really concerned that that was going to be a problem. So we've gotten me set up with the pain management side of the surgeon world, and we're gonna most likely start some really intensive physical therapy, maybe some chiropractor adjustments. I don't really know. All I know is I am in so much pain. I want it to stop. You know, I'm sure my cerebral palsy is impacting all of that. So I did start the week off at 289.8. And as you can probably guess, I ended this morning at 288.0. So I've lost, almost 2 pounds this week, which is kind of amazing, all things considered. Certainly shocked me. I was not expecting to lose any weight. If anything, I expected to maintain. But that does put my total weight loss at almost 7 pounds. I'm like 0.2 away from 7 pounds. So close, and yet so far. So one of the other things I forgot to share with you guys in the last video is I told you guys about the trackers. Obviously, I am a huge tactile person, so I do have these little jars full of those glass beads. This jar started out with 110 little beads in them, signifying, my goodness, it's been a week, how many pounds that I would want to lose. It is a fourth wing wine glass. It says I will not die today because, as you can probably see behind me, I am a huge nerd in the book world. So every pound that I lose, I get to put a pebble in this jar. Super hard to see it, but this is one of my favorite quotes from that book. There's nowhere in existence you could go that I wouldn't find you violence. Yeah, one of my favorite books. But I have, I do have 6 stones in here because I have lost 6 pounds. So, I mean, the idea is more color in this jar, less color in the other one. But yeah, it gives me kind of a little shot of happy in the morning when I go weigh myself and then I get to move a pebble. So we are also doing that. I will be testing my ketones tomorrow to see if I'm back on ketosis because it's been about 72 hours since I kicked myself out. And then we're gonna start day 15 off with a weigh-in so we can get week 3 start weight logged, and then we will go from there. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.